Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me for Chronicles and Collecting, where I'm going to open up the Metal Robot Spirits ASW-G-XX Gundam Vidar from Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, an anime series that ran for 50 episodes from October 2015 through April 2017. This figure came out in November 2020 and was a premium Bandai exclusive, retailing for 15,400 yen or about $128. So I opened up Bale the other day. I really liked the figure a lot. I had fun posing it. It's kind of been sitting here on my desk, and was editing the video and stuff, and I just really like the figure a lot. So I thought, now would be a good opportunity to open up the Vidar, which I came out a while ago, but I picked up maybe 6 months ago and it's sort of been sitting here. So I talked about it a little bit in the last video, but there's just not a ton of Robot Spirits figures from Iron-Blooded Orphans. I mean, there's not a ton of really flashy mobile suits in that line. Start to take a look at this figure here. But I'd definitely like to see a few more, and I wouldn't mind if we got a few more Metal Robot Spirits and not just like 10,000 different forms of the Barbatos. But yeah, this is another really nice figure. I remember this getting like very, very positive reviews at the time. I thought I was going to be getting one from a friend, and I didn't, so I didn't pick it up for a really long time. But they're still not like super expensive or super rare or anything like that. So let's take a look at what we got. So obviously you had the base figure there. Let's move this back a little bit. Got a backpack, pretty standard accessory. Really not a lot of accessories here, especially compared to the Bale and the Barbatos that have all these like huge swords and all that kind of stuff. You got a kind of basic gun there. Got these like incy beansy tiny little pistols. I don't know what good this is going to do against most weapons. I mean, if you saw Iron-Blooded Orphans, they were shooting some pretty serious firepower. And then you have a few kind of alternate crowns with the kind of like lightning crackling off of it. And there's 3 of those. I don't quite know why that is. But I'm sure I'll figure it out over the course of posing these. The third one is basically just the same, so I don't think it needs to get looked at again. And then finally, kind of your typical stand stuff for a Metal Robot Spirits. Customized stand, kind of got all the little markings there. And finally, you got these things. I don't know what those are, these like kind of spike things. I'll figure it out over the course of this. But yeah, so I'm going to go pose this guy, check it out, and I'll be back with some final thoughts in a few minutes. All right, and we are back. So really great figure with kind of one major / minor design flaw. Less major once you realize what it is. So let's start off with the good. Amazing coloring, amazing detailing. This has a feel much more like the version Ka, like the Double Zeta Gundam and the Mark II that I really, really liked, but combined with like the metal joints of Metal Robot Spirits. So absolutely awesome. A little light on the accessories, but you got what you want. You got this cool sword here. You got the lightning flashing. There are those extra spikes I wasn't sure what to do. I guess they're like alternate blades for the sword, and they like can get stored in here, which is kind of nice, but seems like an unnecessary detail because you can't really see them. There's also those 2 little itsy bitsy baby guns. Those actually can get stored inside of the skirt. I really don't feel like taking them apart and putting it back together, but you can store it there, and I believe that you could probably see the handle kind of hanging out a little bit, so you do know that they're there. Posability was pretty good. You could kind of do some fun stuff with it, so I like that. No complaints there. The complaint that I do have is, so it connects to the stand via one of those like little plasticky stand connectors that connects kind of in between the legs. As compared to most of the Robot Spirits that just have the peg kind of built in. So the problem is, and you can't obviously really see it, but I'll try to explain it. But basically, when you move the leg past the hip, so say like this is kind of the hip, when you move it like this, the peg for the leg comes down and pushes that stand adapter out of the way. So basically, when you have that adapter in, you can't make the leg go either of the legs go pretty much any further than this. Now there is a way that there is another adapter that you could put the peg on the back But I don't know, those seem to never work out particularly well. But so anyway, it's not a super big deal once you know about it, but it's kind of counterintuitive. So I kept like putting it on, and then I would like pose a little bit, and then it would fall off, and then I kept doing it over and over and over again. Then I was looking in the booklet, and I was like, wow, my leg joint is way lower than it shows in the booklet. Then I moved it kind of back to the neutral position, and then I sort of realized what was going on. So I think if you're going into it, it's not that big a deal, but just sort of know it going forward. I was very angry at this figure, and then once I figured that out, I think it's still a little bit of a stupid design decision, but at least I can kind of, pose around it. But yeah, so anyway, I think this is a great addition to the Metal Robot Spirits. I think it's a great addition to the Iron-Blooded Orphans, and I'm hoping that we, see more, because I've really, really liked what we have so far. Anyway, thanks so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, I'd really appreciate a like or subscribe. And if you didn't, tell me about it in the comments. If there's something else you want to see, either with this figure or with another figure. And actually, while I'm at it, I got his buddy right here. So let's bring him in for a little double shot there. There we go. I don't think they're really buddies, but yeah, if there's anything else you want to see, either a comparison with this figure or something else, tell me about it, and I'll see what I could do. Starting in like the second week of April, I think A Main Warrior of the Borderline is going to start re-airing its kind of second part on Tuesdays. So I'm going to be doing reviews of that, as soon as, I finish watching it. So hopefully within half hour or an hour of it airing. And then I'll probably be moving my figure reviews to Friday, and that'll, probably be like kind of the newish figures. And then I'll try to do, maybe 1 or 2 extra figures, per month, something older, kind of going through a large pile of figures in my closet that I would like to open and display at some point. Anyway, thanks so much for checking out this video, and keep collecting.